Alright, hello fellow friends and family, my name is Josh, and hey, welcome back to another video. This is going to be a very different video because I am actually in sort of a drought when it comes to playing video games. I don't know, I have a bunch of games to choose from or to play, but I just don't feel like playing any of them at the moment. I am playing through Layers of Fear 2 right now, and that's pretty fun. I'm thinking about playing Neo 2, but I don't know, it's $60 and I don't really feel like spending that much money on a game right now. But okay, basically think of this little series as pretty much story time where I tell you about my experiences or just a little bit about me, things like that. So if you guys do enjoy this little series, I mean, let me know. And yeah, so I don't know why, I just felt like talking about my phobia, which is thalassophobia. And for those of you who don't know, thalassophobia can be categorized as a fear of the emptiness of the ocean, sea creatures, or being far away from land, essentially. And for me personally, all of those apply, okay? All three of those I am not a big fan of. And I guess it's fair to start where it all began, where the roots of my phobia are. And so I was very young. I think I was in single-digit territory. Like if I had to guess, like 8 or 9. I can't really remember, but I was young. I was swimming in the ocean with my father. He was a little bit ways away. He was enjoying his time. I was enjoying my time. And I remember I took a small step forward, and there was a huge dip in the sand. And so I fell what felt like, I guess, 2 feet. And I started to drown because I was a terrible swimmer back then. I'm still a terrible swimmer now. But so I started to drown until my dad came and helped me up, and things were fine. And looking back, I knew I really wasn't in any real danger, but in that moment, it was extremely scary. I mean, you can, relate with that at least. But with that small incident, it lasted like, what, 10 seconds and that's it? It stuck with me ever since. And we can actually rewind the clocks back to 2019 in January, where we went to go visit my brother in Hawaii. He was actually living in Hawaii at the time. Isn't that crazy? He's actually traveling. He's such a wild card. He's actually traveling the world right now, but he's stuck in Nepal because of this whole coronavirus situation. He's doing fine though. He's like in no danger whatsoever. But yeah, when he was living in Hawaii, we went, he really wanted to take me snorkeling because he thought I would enjoy it. And of course I had my worries, but I was like, man, I really want to enjoy this trip. And I guess my interpretation of enjoying a trip was to face one of my biggest fears. So yeah, I was extremely nervous the entire time, and we went, and I actually didn't snorkel. I really didn't. I tried, and I tried, but I just couldn't bring myself to get to the point where I had to start swimming and I had to face my face like down into the water. Because I felt like I was gonna sink, or I was gonna just breathe in water or whatnot. Like, call me a pansy or whatever you want, but let me at least shine some light on my perspective, okay? So the idea of not having control really scares me. It scares a lot of people, obviously, and in the water, I'm not a good swimmer, okay? I mean, I can swim, I can do, like, the basic strokes, but I just not very fast or for very long. I very much suck at it, okay? And knowing that there are creatures in the water that I can't see that could potentially harm me terrifies me. It really does. Like, at least with a scary corridor, I at least know that danger is either in front of me or behind me. Within the ocean, it could come from any direction, and I can't fight back. Because in the water, you're a little bit slower, and you're swimming, and there's creatures that live there their entire lives. They obviously have every type of advantage they could have. So, being in the middle of the ocean, knowing that sharks could be right underneath my feet and I can't see them, is really not a pleasant thought for me. I mean, I know sharks aren't super dangerous, okay? Cows kill more people than sharks do. Vending machines kill more people than sharks and cows. But even their appearance alone is very unsettling. Their unblinking eyes, their ferocity, and unlimited amount of teeth is honestly something out of a horror movie, which there are plenty of horror movies that do a very good job of showing the bad side of sharks. And for those of you who don't know, Galeophobia is the fear of sharks, and honestly, I can say with a clear mind that sharks are more terrifying than the ocean itself. I mean, even as a kid, Bruce the shark in Nemo, or whatever his name was, he scared me. And when I was younger, you know, I guess fun fact if you want to call it this way, when I was younger, I was extremely terrified of also dolls and mannequins. And whenever I would get that weird like sense of fear, I would just freeze up. And so when I saw that scene, that first scene with Bruce, I just kind of froze for a second, and then it kind of, you know, disintegrated away because I was like, okay, it's just a cartoon. It's not going to actually pop out. But in real life with like mannequins and dolls, I would just stare at it for what felt like 30 minutes when it was rather like 5 minutes because I just couldn't move. I was that scared. But that's another story for another time. And so basically my thalassophobia still exists, but it wouldn't be as strong if sharks were not alive. The idea of being lost at sea still scares the crap out of me. But if I knew there weren't any type of creatures in the water that could harm me, or that could be there, or that could be near me and I wouldn't know about it, I'm okay with. You know, it would be a lot less scary. And let me clarify, like, I'm fine with pools, okay? It's not like I can't swim at all. I can swim in pools. Essentially, if there's a body of water where other creatures exist besides the people swimming in it, I'm honestly okay with, you know, not really going for a swim that day. Like, of course the shore doesn't scare me. I can go like waist deep or whatever, but I'd prefer not to venture forth to the point where I have to start swimming, you know? And don't get me wrong, I think the ocean, lakes, rivers, and other bodies of water are gorgeous. I think they look beautiful. We have a small public pond that I like to visit in my neighborhood when I go on my walks. And, you know, but I admire it from a safe distance, okay? I don't usually go into the water and say, wow, this is a really nice body of water while I'm drowning myself or whatever. Now, this wouldn't be really my video if I didn't really connect it to video games. And it's weird because I feel like I have to. There is one game I can think of that really piques my interest when it comes to my phobia, and that is Subnautica, which is pretty much... you're pretty much underneath the water 100% of the time. And I haven't played it, and I never will. No, I'm not really fond of that game. Plus, honestly, it just looks really boring. And the more I think about it, the more I realize that there aren't many games that I've played that really feed my phobia. It's weird. Like, the only one that I can think about is Monster Hunter 3 Try with the underwater combat, but even then, it doesn't really scare me because there's obviously a difference of being in a video game and reality. If anything, if there was any type of horror game that was underneath the water, it would give me like a small unsettling feeling in my stomach, but it wouldn't actually like terrify me. I actually have never been to an aquarium, surprisingly. I've always wanted to, but the more I think about it, if I were to go into one of those, I don't know what they're called, but they're like shark tubes where you go inside a clear tube, and around the tube, there's a bunch of like sea critters or whatever you want to call them swimming around, and sand tiger sharks specifically, they look very unpleasant. And I can imagine myself honestly like being inside that tube, just looking at them and having like a small like panic attack. I seriously do not like sharks at all. Like this, like no. I mean, and like I said, I've never been to an aquarium, so I really can't really say that for sure that's what would have happened. Because I'm a very rational person, I would think like, okay, they can't get me. It's not like I'm actually in the tank with them. But I guess just seeing them would give me, you know, a bit of a scare here and there. I don't know. But when it comes to horror games, they do have their own unique system and mechanics that make them fantastic, like tension, which actually I could talk about in another video. But, yeah, that's pretty much all I had to share, honestly. You know, just a quick story. If you guys did enjoy it, and if you want me to share more stories, I would have to think of some, because I don't really have too many stories, but I don't know, yeah, or like my personal opinion about something, I could, you know, make it to like a, you know, a few minute video or whatnot. But yeah, like I said, if you guys did enjoy the video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more content like this. And I'll see you in the next video.